This suit is named after one of the greatest albums of all time, aka Purple Rain, and I think that's so dope. So let's talk about it. Welcome to Nick's Toy Box, your place for everything Hot Toys and Marvel Legends. Today, taking a look at the Spider-Man 2 Sideshow exclusive Miles Morales Purple Rain suit. Now this suit is so sweet. I'll be honest, in the game, it's probably not one of my most favorite, but in hand, in the Hot Toys figure, this thing is really dope. I was very excited when they did finally release this because it was kind of in limbo forever, because this is technically a Spider-Man Miles Morales, the PS5 game suit. But it was reintroduced in Spider-Man 2, so I guess it does technically count as a Spider-Man 2 suit. But I think we all know where it really originated from. That aside, this was a limited release, which Hot Toys has been on the trend for lately. Love it or hate it, I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon, but I was super excited to get this one in hand and start doing an unboxing, so why don't we get into it? This packaging is following the trend of what we've come to expect from the Spider-Man 2 Hot Toys wave, where you get the spider webs and these intricate designs everywhere and all of these weird shapes and symbols that like really just scream like I say geometry. I don't know if that's accurate. That's just the vibe I get. But I love this purple and green that is scattered across it with the figure up front. Mind you, it's not the actual figure. It's in-game, which we all know how I feel about that. But it does look nice. I love all of these colors and lines and layers that really come into focus in the inner sleeve with these weird like silver metallic-y stuff flowing everywhere. It's really crazy. We get like that weird digitized logo that I don't know what it is. We have his outline in the background and all of this weird stuff. It's really cool, and it's really different, and I love the Spider-Man 2 games for that exact reason. We get the standard Spider-Man 2 webs that we've come to know and I think love, because I think they're all really dope actually, with the crossover webs, and we got the swinging ones and the thwipping. You know what to expect from a Spider-Man at this point. We get some really cool slashing effects that can be equipped onto his hands. These are pretty much the exact same from the Spider-Man 2099 from the Across the Spider-Verse, just repainted to be green as opposed to the colors from the 2099. They are an awesome inclusion for this figure, since this is supposed to be a Prowler inspired suit, so why not have some Prowler-esque features? We've got the standard web that goes underneath his fist to really lock in that thwipping effect. And we got an awesome amount of hands. We got your standard hexagonal base with the really cool Miles logo on it. And I love the coloring and the details on it. It's really cool. This is all pretty standard, which makes me want to scratch my head at how exclusive this figure is when everything about it is our standard release. I would have liked something extra or something cooler to really push the exclusiveness of this, but that's really neither here nor there. Got your standard flight pole that comes with the waist grabber for your dynamic Spider-Man posing. As always, with this kind of suit and this kind of material, over time, the waist grabber can and will dig into the suit a bit. But if you're someone like me who loves dynamic posing and doesn't really care, do what you want. But if you try to like do preserving, just be very wary of using the waist grabber. Just keep that in mind. We get a good array of hands here, and we get a really dope Spider-Man here. We'll go ahead and release him from his prison really quick. I love this color straight off the bat. It stands out. And that's really what I was going for when I grabbed him off of Sideshow, was he doesn't look like your everyday Spider-Man, especially for Miles Morales. I love the textured detailings on these hands with those claws that are green, and they really oppose that dark purple and that like kind of carbon fiber-esque coloring of the metal plates. It's such a unique suit, and I I don't think there's like going to be a cooler version for Miles. You let me know how you feel about that in the comments below. But the texturing and the detailing and everything on these hands are exquisite, and I think 10 out of 10 for me on these hands. And we get a bunch of cool ones where they really put these claws into play, into like the forefront, because it's so unique for a Spider-Man. I think they did the same thing with the Superior Spider-Man for Peter Parker. You get these cool thwipping here, like real like stiff, which is very much like the game mask. It's not real comic-y or something like that. We do get the fist hands that also serve as like the swinging hands. Love it or hate it, it's what we got. But like we're saying, just a quick in-hand look of this guy. His colors and the suit design, it's awesome. I really love that vibrant green on his chest and everything like that. As always, you get your typical accessories for your hands, for the thwipping features. All standard, all awesome. Time to get him on the turntable and get a really good first look at him. And like I'm saying, these colors just pop. That green, I love it. I never thought in a million years I would love a green Spidey logo as much as I do on this one. I think the only other contender would have been, the big time suit? But in my honest opinion, this metallic-esque green blows it out of the water. With it being, accompanied with that dark metallic purple and these carbon fiber grays and blacks. It's awesome, and it's such a different style of suit than what we're used to with this utility belt and the big bulky web shooters with all the extra cartridges. It definitely seems like the kind of suit that we would see if the Prowler tried to make a suit for Spider-Man, and that's exactly what the story is for this suit, and so it translates perfectly. With that, I love its uniqueness. We're going to get up and close and personal with it. Those are just my first and immediate thoughts about this figure, because it really does leave me in awe in the best of ways. I don't know how many horrible things I'm going to have about this guy. I do have some stuff that I'm not a big fan of, which we will get into. So let's pull him closer and let's get into it. One of the more immediate things about this figure that I'll get off the bat that I don't care for is the lack of interchangeable eyes. They are beautifully sculpted and crafted. I would have just loved to have more options for more facial expressions. That's going to be it as far as the head area goes. This utility belt is sculpted beautifully. All of this is done exceptionally well. I love these huge plates, and it has like that Prowler-esque look. This suit is just absolutely phenomenal. Taking a look here, and I get this hand snapped into place. That's one of my biggest complaints, is going to be that guard that I was just talking about that I love. It interferes with the hands quite a bit, because when you try to pose against it, it adds some pushback, and it's going to continuously pop off the hand. That's my biggest complaint here, is that right there. I would have wished they would have moved it up a bit or worked it for some work back. But moving on, all these other texts and features and how it's just designed, even the bottom of the shoes and the shoes themselves, they're all designed and incorporated beautifully. This is really almost a 10 out of 10 for me. The lack of interchangeable eyes and those handrail things that are popping off the hands are bummers. One being way more bummery than the other, which is the hands popping off. Because otherwise, this suit and the design and it being brought to the real world is executed amazingly. And overall, the articulation is pretty good. It's about what we should be expecting from a Hot Toys. You get some good looking down and looking up, and the neck works with it. And this suit gets a lot of leeway in that area. It moves up great and all around. You just got to worry about wrinkles. But like I'm saying, if you don't mind posing, like I don't mind posing, whatever, wrinkles are going to be there. And just do know, if you crease for a prolonged time, you're going to get some almost like semi-permanent wrinkles, and like you'll see those marks in the suit. But that aside, if you're willing to live with that, like I'm willing to live with it, life is going to be okay for you. You're seeing even now, just posing and moving around, how much these rails are interfering with the figure. But beyond that, the utility belt does give him a weird little gut thing when he's bent over. So some small stuff that, like, I think we could have tried to improve when doing all of this, especially for this articulation when Spider-Man is supposed to be really dynamic. But once you get past that and we get all of our standard posing and articulation, and it's all really, really, really great. And the suit, like I said, overall is relatively forgiving, minus just some of those seam lines that will appear, or the stress lines from bends. I like that the boots are separated from the actual shoe, or from the body itself, and they actually have toe bends inside of it, which is just awesome, stellar work. Get some good movements all around. So I think I'm pleasantly surprised. And all of this translates really well when we actually do posing. Because as you can see here with the special little effects here, and everything like that, it poses awesomely. He's really, really cool. And I really do love this figure. With that, he definitely isn't perfect. And there's definitely a lot of areas of improvement. Like, I'm going to be the biggest stressor here on the hands popping off, which is a real bummer for this figure. That aside, and the eyes part aside, he's overall really great. You got to worry about those weird little crunch areas when the utility belt comes into play. But I think beyond that, he's really an exceptional figure. And if you're able to get one for your collection and you really like Miles Morales and Prowler, this one's like almost a no-brainer for me. But I'm curious to know what you think. If you could subscribe, notification bell, like and share, and leave a comment what you think about the figure, all of that really helps me and the channel continue to grow. And if you like what you see and want to see more of me and my collection, click any of these videos. As always, this is Nick's Toy Box. I appreciate you taking the time to watch. Catch you in the next one. See ya.